everybody, One here. We just unboxed the very appealing Stormblade here. Very cool background story, just a visually stimulating character. She is Air Element SuperCharger, of course, and that might incline you to believe that she should have an air vehicle, and she does. She has got an Air Element vehicle, and she has got a Sky vehicle. Makes pretty perfect sense, does it not? This is a fairly heavy vehicle. I didn't really anticipate that. Is it as heavy as Diveclops over there? Coming slowly into the picture. I don't know. If I had a scale, I would resort to that. That's how detail oriented we would get. But that said, this is a sweet looking ride. I've not seen the Jetstream Hurricane Jetvac vehicle in person, but I always thought he would have looked pretty cool in this. But nonetheless, if you don't know her background story, Stormblade built this thing in her pursuit of finding the ends of those Skylands, like the end of the world, if you will. And that makes it that much cooler, in my opinion. So here's the packaging. You can find this. It's been out since launch day. And now that we've got it, the Stealth Stinger, the Nitro Stealth Stinger, should be pretty set on your Sky vehicles for a little while. Coming around to the back, the vehicles look like this. They go on the portal, they appear in the game. It's that simple. Here's the inset artwork for the Sky Slicer. Coming down here, when you take Stormblade with the Sky Slicer, you get a supercharged version, just like you see there, Spitfire and Hotstreak. Other featured vehicles, Jetstream, which again we don't have. The saving grace on that one would be it's got the beak, kind of like Jetvac, but I don't know, I saw him in more of like a rogue ship like this, kind of more of like a Star Wars feel, you know? But we'll see what that one looks like in hand. Sea Shadow, which we unboxed, that thing is killer. Fantastic color scheme on it. The Crypt Crusher again, probably my most anticipated vehicle. And then right there, the Dive Bomber, which has just got a really playful and colorful vibe going for it as well. That said, let's open this thing up and see what it looks like in hand. Again, something that I wish there was is solid stats on the vehicles. They've got the chart in the game. I've spent enough time in the game. I feel like if there were solid numbers, we would have seen them. And what I see in the game is the chart. It looks just like it does in a strategy guide. And while it does provide a visual for us, I need something more. I need numbers. I don't need like the, bar is half full kind of almost. I need 43%. I need 46%, I need the exact rating number to be satisfied. Otherwise, I'm left with this unquenchable void in my life because I can't properly document it. If anyone's busted out a ruler and you've mic'd it out and you've determined numerical values, feel free to share them. We can post it on the Skylander Club Forum and other people can geek out over it. So, that said, if you keep these intact for storage, go ahead, cut it out, cut the tape at the back side. This one is taped on the label and onto the plastic. So I'm going to break this down, and now popped right out. Zero issues there. And again, this is surprisingly heavy. I thought this would be a fairly light one, given that it's open and kind of... Oh, that's a cool shot of that thing. So you got, your turbine in there right behind the cockpit. I had no idea that was there. That's really cool. And of course, what I like best about this thing, it is super aerodynamic looking. I mean, this is something you could like see in a airplane museum, space and science type museum thing. It looks fairly futuristic. I could see people piloting these in the not too distant future. And again, just the aerodynamics of it is what really entices me. You've kind of got the uptick on the back fin, the wings over here. You sort of have a similar play. You've got the three of them that play together perfectly. Kind of looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. Given Vicarious Visions is behind the game. I remember from talking to him at E3 a few years ago, they're pretty big into kind of like space type stuff, and I could see them designing this or toying around with it, so barking commands, maybe it's someone to design it, I don't know, but whoever did it, it looks pretty dadgum cool. So something I like. I'm a big fan of silver and blue. They're Cowboys colors. I use my legendary blue and silver scheme for all my Terrafins and several other custom paints. While this is that theme, it's a little different because this is more of like a I don't know if I'd call it sky blue, but it's like an icy sky blue is what I would say. And then what I like, if you think, oh yeah, and look at all that silver. No, this is like an ivory white, and that is silver. So when you get it in the right light with the reflection from the silver here and the silver on that side, it almost gives the illusion that this is like all aluminum, you know, something along those lines. But when you're up close to it, you can kind of distinguish there's the metallic silver here, you know, kind of highlighting the back edge, and then you've got the metallic silver on the front edge, and then this center area is kind of the ivory white. And like I said, when you catch the light just right, it washes out the white, and it honestly gives the illusion we're looking at a sheet of aluminum. So very, very futuristic aircraft stuff going on there. The thrusters itself, I always wonder, like, why does some of the vehicles get like the colored thruster, or it gives the illusion that, you know, it's running and it's flaming or something, and some are just kind of more of like neutral? Was it just that like the orange would clash, or orangey yellow red would look bad? Was it, yeah, you know, I think the silver looks better? I don't know. That's stuff I would kind of like to know. That's not important, just stuff I'm kind of interested in. Right here, I love the look on the cockpit. It matches obviously here well, but it kind of has that like, somehow on the edges it's catching the sheen and reflects, just like you would see from like a tinted glass windshield in the cockpit of a plane. So that's cool. It's got the steering wheel. Note the groove missing at the top. That is intentional. That's how, if you've ever been in the cockpit of a plane, that's how they tend to be. They're not like a, you know, traditional car wheel, you know, where you've got like 14-inch diameter wheel or something. Yeah, they've got kind of like the arcade feel. They're not just doing that, it's designed that way. So pretty sweet attention to detail there. You can kind of actually see there's two stops there, but they also look like pedals. From this angle, you get a really good look at sort of like that red liner there. Provides a nice splash of color. It's sort of the only contrasting color. Then we do have a splash there with what looks to be kind of like the typical, you know, military leather back seat, if you will. So very, again, lends its credence to the aircraft. But something, again, that I just like is the way that this plays off of one another. You've sort of got down here this inset area, basically this whole bottom layer. It's almost like a different hue of metallic silver. It's kind of got like some green in it, it looks like. I don't know if you can tell on the, or maybe like some blue or some green, because this is the metallic silver right here, you know, that matches with this and then highlights with the ivory. So the color you see here on the top edge of the wing and this edge of the wing is this color here that I'm running my finger along, that runs up over here in front of the glass. But when you come down, again, obviously this is painted the same, but this next step is actually a different color. It's very subtle, but it makes for a really nice accent. Again, it kind of breaks up the monotony. It's something, you know, a lot of people that just open this up, they're going to be like, oh, cool, it's blue and silver. Well, there's some red and brown in there. Okay. But if you take your time, you'll see the white, you'll see how it plays off the light, and then when you spin it around to this side, you can kind of catch the difference in color right there. Again, extremely subtle, but very well done. It's those little things that really make something stand out and seem well executed. So there's our Air Element logo. This right here, I'm assuming, is kind of like a splitter. It could be like landing gear, and it also might just be to help this thing sit. I really don't have space. Can you see it there? It seems to rest on the wings, and if I had to guess, I would say that the drop down on the wings is equal to this, because it seemed to sit flush. So whatever it is, it's essentially, it's doing its job very well, and it adds, in my opinion, to the aerodynamic effect. Again, that thing just looks like it would be fast. We've unboxed plenty of vehicles. Some of them look cool, but this looks like it would be fast, and that is certainly what I hope for. So what we will do now is park this somewhere. Where can you see it? Over here by steel-plated smash hit? Yes, we'll just go with that. And what I want to do is come in here and share a little with you about the Sky Slicer. So there's that annoying graph I talk about. Now, there's the armor bar. Wouldn't it be nice to know what the max armor number was and what this actually was? Like, is that a scale of 25 and this is, what, like a 6? Is it a scale of 100 and that's, you know, like a, I don't know, 20 something? I don't know, and that drives me nuts. The top speed is very high though. Over here, for example, you got the jet stream. That one not quite that far up on the meter. This one very close to the edge. That's it. Acceleration a little low. Handling, weight right there. So her attacks, though, you've got Feather Fury as the primary. Tap attack 1 to shoot out feathered spears. So that looks pretty sweet. Should mimic what she has, I think. And then we've got attack 3 is going to be Pigeon Flock missiles. Press and hold attack 3 to lock on and shoot out Pigeon Flock homing missiles. Anything that homes in this game turns out to be a pretty big deal when you're in the racing segments with opponents. There's a look at Stormblade in the Sky Slicer. Very nice aesthetic there. We'll come in now and take a look at the performance mods. You've got the Qatar, I don't know, wing. +5 top speed, +5 handle. That's something, either way I pronounce it, even if it's correct, someone's going to assume it's not. And they'll come in and say, oh, 1017, Mark, you mispronounced that, idiot. And don't do that, that makes you look like an idiot. And if I did butcher it, my apologies, but again, it's one of those things. So right there, 0 friction plate, +150 armor, +5 weight. Right here, double edge hull, +10 handling. And then down here you've got the Psy-Wing shell, which that's a pretty sweet, kind of a tongue twister too. +5 top speed, +10 acceleration. For our specialty mods, you've got the Scream Stream thrust, +10 handling. You've got the Unifusion boost, +10 top speed. Twin jet turbos, +5 top speed, +10 acceleration. And then you've got the Tri-Jet Threat for +150 armor. For those of you that care about the horns, you've got the Cloud Reverberator, the Radar Resonator, the Electro Listener, and the Sky Call. Now, let's talk about the Sky Slicer. If you want to use the Sky Slicer, what is the recommended strategies? What should you be trying to do? What is the official recommendation? Sky Slicer manages to be the fastest sky vehicle. Awesome. It looks like it should be, despite its low acceleration. Considering its so-so handling, Sky Slicer shouldn't be your first sky vehicle. So basically what they mean by that is start with something a little bit more well-balanced. Once you learn to finesse it, once you learn the controls of something that's, I guess, a little easier to maneuver, then come in with this beast. You'll compensate for the handling adequately, and you can then take advantage of the top speed. That's the way I interpret that anyway. Feather Fury is oh lord, there's all my I don't know that you saw that, but all my stickers were apparently in the strategy guide. They just fell out. Beautiful. And I worked so hard to not have them do that. Anyway, Feather Fury is a standard fire and forget ranged attack that doesn't track its targets. It's not terrible, but you should save the energy in your ammo bar for Pigeon Flock missiles. Keep attack 3 pressed down if it doesn't slow you down, and listen for the missile cycled noise. No clue what that is. As soon as an opponent pops up in front of you, let loose the flock missiles and watch that opponent spin out. So they're basically advocating you use attack 3 and not attack 1. That's what I take from that. Now, if you're racing against somebody that I guess has mastered the Sky Slicer, has a lot of time in the cockpit behind other air vehicles, and then moved on to this and mastered its art form, here's how you beat it. The best place to be against Sky Slicer is in a chase position just behind it, as its weapons fire forward only. Blast Sky Slicer just after boostering, where it'll be forced to rely on its terrible acceleration while you zoom ahead. If you spot Sky Slicer behind you, look for a different path through the course so you aren't the target of Pigeon Flock missiles. So once again, they seem to have done their best to balance this stuff out. And obviously when we introduce this, we'll try to highlight that as best we can. But essentially, if you got a vehicle that's super fast, the handling is going to be lackluster. It might not have backward attacks. So if you're out in front and people are catching you, you're kind of defenseless type of a situation. If you're on something maybe like the burn cycle, and you're not very fast, so people are catching you, going to pass you, you can shoot flames out the back and destroy your opponent that way. So like I said, it'll take some time for everybody to get accustomed to the vehicle. in that particular type, land, sea, and sky race. Figure out what you like, what works best for you, depending on what your friends are running or the people you're racing with online. That might dictate your choice for your strategy. There's multifaceted elements at play here, but all I know for sure is this thing looks awesome. I cannot wait to see it in the game. See how it stacks up against the Clown Cruiser. That's the only thing I've really flown in the game. That was mainly on SuperChargers Racing for the Wii. But here is the Sky Slicer. Here is Stormblade. They are the duo. Again, she built this ship herself, and she did a marvelous job. Very Sprocketish of her. Sprocket would probably be proud. And it's a great story, great combination. I'm excited to see what these two are capable of paired together in a supercharged form. So that said, Sky Slicer available now, has been since launch. If you liked what you see here, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. How does this stack up? What do you think of it aesthetically? If you've raced as it, do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you prefer the Stealth Stinger or the Clown Cruiser if you've got that? Anything you want to talk about, throw it out there. Again, no polls for this one. There are plenty of polls, though, on the Skylander Club forum for you to check out. SkylanderClub.com, scroll down, click polls and discussion. You can cast your vote in as many as you'd like. You do not need to be signed up or remember to do so. Anybody can vote. Spread the word, get your friends to vote if you've got something you're pulling for, particularly Fiesta versus Frightful Fiesta poll battle of the century. At least it is in my head. Can't wait to see how that thing develops. But that's it. Let me know your thoughts here on the Sky Slicer and Stormblade. And as some characters come out and we get more, we'll start having some battles for the characters that don't have, nitros and alt decos and whatnot's available to them. But more on that later. Make sure you are subscribed. You can follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you back here for more Skylanders SuperChargers Unboxed.